The USS Alabama. We know the battleship as the state's #1 tourist attraction. But during World War II, it was known as the Lucky A. Not one man was lost on the ship in enemy fire.
And your battle station.
It was a fighting machine. It fought in 9 battles in the Pacific, shot down 22 Japanese planes. But it was also a living machine, the place where over 2,000 Navy men had to live day in and day out for sometimes years at a time. They lived for letters from home, from mom, their wives, their girlfriends. They wouldn't get them often, every 3 or 4 months maybe. J.R. Brown remembers those days. When he was 19, he worked one of the big guns on the USS Alabama for 3.5 years.
Always a big deal. They sound a mail call and everybody headed for the post office. It was always a big deal to get mail. You always want to hear from the folks back home.
The war ended. The ship went into mothball. And then back in the 60s, when they started cleaning it up and getting it ready for tourists, they found a lot of old personal items still left on board. Things like a baseball, a class ring. And in this post office and behind one locker, they found some of those old love letters. There aren't many, 2 or 3, but reading them is like stepping back in time. Peggy wrote her Darling Bob on Columbus Day. She wrote, "Where are you? What are you doing? Why haven't you phoned me? I am going crazy, wondering and waiting." Then she wrote a poem. "I love you, oh, I love you so. I cannot start to say how much you mean to me, my dear, today and every day." Hope wrote her husband in 1945. She said, "I never realized till now just how much I really missed those swell mush sessions we used to have." And one lucky seaman got a crayon-colored Valentine, complete with a little Cupid. J.R. says Uncle Sam never censored the letters coming in, but they censored the letters going out.
You could tell your girlfriend how much you love her or how much you hate her, and they didn't touch it. But if you said the ship's bombing a certain place or something to that effect, it was probably cut out.
Right now they're rounding up different personal items to put in a museum on the battleship. Clothes they wore, dog tags, old magazines. But the letters, the love letters, will not make it in.
Because many of these people could still be alive. We don't know who they are. We don't know who John or Bob or Jim or Charlie are. And I think if it were me and I came back to the ship and saw my letter displayed on a bulkhead someplace, I would get pretty upset.
In fact, some of the letters were so personal, we had to censor them. Maybe in 50 years they'll put them on display. But for now, the love letters aboard the USS Alabama are too hot to handle. Michelle Meredith, News 10.